Scott Disick faced criticism for his crush on Khloe Kardashian after Kris Jenner acknowledged it. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Scott Disick has once again found himself in the middle of controversy, and this time it's because of a moment many fans found very uncomfortable. The situation happened in an older episode of The Kardashians, and it left viewers with a lot of feelings. According to The Sun, it all started when Kris Jenner, who is 67 years old, made a surprising comment about Scott, who is 40. She said that he might actually have feelings for Khloe Kardashian, who is 39. That alone made people start talking. It didn't help that Scott also made a strange comment about Khloe that didn't sit well with many viewers. In that episode, Scott was sitting down with Kris and Khloe, and the three of them were having a conversation about his love life. Scott had just admitted that he was struggling to find someone special. He said he felt lonely all the time and didn't seem very hopeful about meeting someone soon. So, Kris asked him what he was looking for in a partner. She said, "If you had the opportunity to meet the perfect girl, what does that look like on paper?" Instead of giving a normal answer, Scott turned toward Khloe with a grin and asked her how tall she was. His response wasn't what anyone expected, and it made things a bit awkward. He even gestured to her as he asked. Khloe, looking surprised but trying to play it off, turned her head and said in a playful tone, "This guy," while Scott laughed loudly. The conversation didn't end there. In a separate part of the show, where Kris was speaking directly to the camera, she opened up even more. She said that she believed Scott probably did have a crush on Khloe. Then, she added something else that made fans raise their eyebrows even higher. She said, "Listen, I have a crush on Khloe. Everyone has a crush on Khloe. Even the cameramen have a crush on Khloe." That part of the show caused a strong reaction online, especially from people who follow the Kardashian family closely. Many social media users were not impressed with what they saw. On Reddit, several people expressed that Scott's comment was out of line. One user said, "Scott's comment is so inappropriate," and another wrote, "Y'all should have seen my face behind the screen. Genuinely shocked." For some fans, it wasn't just about the words. They were concerned about the kind of relationship Scott and Khloe have and how it was being shown on television. Another person online suggested that Scott was not being genuine. According to this fan, Scott says things just to stay close to the Kardashian family. The comment they shared said, "Scott would say anything to stay in that family's good graces. He's no dummy. That chump hasn't worked a day in his life and doesn't plan on it." This viewpoint made it clear that some people believe Scott is more focused on keeping his position within the family than truly meaning what he says. But not everyone felt the same way. Some fans had a very different opinion about the situation. One person posted that they believe Scott and Khloe could actually be good for each other. They shared, "Unpopular opinion. I don't think Scott wants to get with Khloe. I think Scott feels sorry for everything Khloe has been through and he hypes her up to boost her confidence and boost his in return. Scott is Khloe's hype man, on camera, and nothing else behind doors." They continued by saying they believe both Scott and Khloe have great senses of humor and really good chemistry. That's why the show often places them in scenes together. The fan also added that they don't even think Scott and Khloe see each other outside of filming. Despite the defense from some viewers, the situation continued to grow. Another uncomfortable moment came up during a more recent episode of The Kardashians, and it made the conversation even more intense. In the episode that aired on October 12th, Scott made another strange remark, and this time it really bothered fans. It happened during a conversation where Scott joked about spending his 40th birthday with Khloe. He said, "My 40th birthday maybe, me and you," and laughed. He also mentioned that by then his back might be feeling better. This joke was seen by many as crossing the line, and once again fans were quick to criticize him for making such a comment. People were upset because they didn't think it was okay for Scott to say those kinds of things, especially about someone he sees like a family member. Even though Scott and Khloe are not related by blood, they have known each other for many years. Scott used to be in a long-term relationship with Kourtney Kardashian, who is Khloe's sister, and they have children together. So, for many fans, hearing Scott say things like that made them uncomfortable. They felt it was disrespectful and unnecessary, especially when it was shown on a reality show that so many people watch. As the backlash continued online, more and more people began to share their thoughts. Some said they were tired of Scott's behavior and didn't want to see him on the show anymore. Others said they hoped the producers would think more carefully before airing those kinds of moments in future episodes. It was clear that this wasn't just a small issue for fans. It touched on bigger topics, like what's appropriate to say about someone you consider a close friend or family member, and how that behavior should be handled when it's shown on TV. Kris Jenner's comments didn't help the situation either. Although she may have meant them in a lighthearted way, her words added fuel to the fire. Saying that everyone has a crush on Khloe, including the camera crew, made it seem like this kind of talk was normal or okay. For some viewers, that was concerning. They felt like it sent the wrong message, especially when it came from someone as influential as Kris. While there were some people who tried to give Scott the benefit of the doubt, the overall feeling among viewers was that his remarks about Khloe crossed a line. Whether or not he meant them seriously didn't seem to matter. What mattered to most fans was the fact that those comments were said at all and that they were aired on a show watched by millions. Scott has often been known for saying things that grab attention. His jokes and comments have always been part of his personality on the show. But this time, it didn't feel like just another funny moment. Instead, it sparked a lot of questions about boundaries and respect. People started wondering if Scott should be more careful about what he says, especially when he's speaking about someone who is practically family. As of now, Scott hasn't responded publicly to the criticism. Neither has Khloe. The Kardashian family is used to people talking about them and often stays quiet when things get messy online. Still, fans are paying attention, and many are waiting to see if Scott will say anything more about the situation or if it will be mentioned in future episodes. This whole situation also led to more discussion about how reality TV is produced. Some viewers questioned if these comments were kept in the show just to stir up drama and get people talking. Others wondered if the Kardashians are sometimes too relaxed with what they allow to be aired, even if it makes some people uncomfortable. Whether this moment was meant to be funny or just another part of the show, it clearly had a big effect on viewers. People care about how the Kardashian family treats each other, and many felt that this situation didn't show them in the best light. Fans want to see real relationships, but they also want to see respect, especially among people who are supposed to be close. It's unclear what will happen next or if Scott and Khloe will talk about this moment publicly. For now, fans are left with their own opinions and feelings. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.